Thought I told you never to call me here.
Shut the fuck up. Shut all the way the fuck up until you reach the top of Shut Fuck Mountain, where there are no more fuck ups to shut.
Dinkus. Believe that?
Bonafide moron. Come poking your nose around here where it don't belong.
I am looking for the goddess. Are you the goddess? Who is the goddess? The goddess is the woman.
No. No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
I'll tell you one damn thing.
Mommy say that I don't.
We'll be coming around the mountain when we come. We'll be coming around the mountain when we come. We'll be coming around the mountain. We'll be good around the mountain.
Are you having fun here?
I want to go home. I want to go home.
All right. Some bitch.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's
Fuck,
rad.
It's fucking gnarly.
I don't think it needs a background.
No, he's not done. He's
But I'm
got all the
saying like
characters
that's
and stuff.
kind of rad on its own, just on the
Yeah.
black.
Oh yeah. It's
This is great
he said he should be
podcast
done.
material.
Yeah, this is really good. I like,
Yeah.
and
We'll
you know
all
what's
see
even
it at
better
some
is that
point.
is that we're doing a video podcast now, and you're still not fucking seeing it.
Yeah.
Still not able to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that design's
You
gonna
could
be
pop
sick
it
as
up in
sick.
here if you wanted.
I could.
We could.
But
Well,
not
yeah,
the-
because
the
depending on
share
when this
screen.
episode drops, the design might have already been revealed.
Mm,
No. Well, maybe. I don't know how much time is going between any of these. This is sick
Yeah.
though. That definitely that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be
That's
gross.
awesome.
That's what I like.
So yeah, you heard it here first, but didn't see it. New thing shirts coming soon.
Yeah,
And it's gross.
It'll probably be out.
and
It's
it's
real
very
gross.
Super gross.
Super
Speaking
gross.
of gross, these movies.
Yeah.
Good shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I grossly misjudged how bad one of them was going to be.
You better be talking about part 3 and not Next Generation.
Man,
Yeah.
part 3, I feel like it's all back to back did 3 no favors because
No.
I loved 2, and to follow
Yeah.
2 with that, I was like, this is a slog. And I
Yeah.
felt bad because I go to review it, and a lot of people really like ride hard for 3 now. Like, I don't know if it's had some revisionism
Really?
or something, but people I trust and people I
People
used to
I
admire
trust.
were like,
Not
oh, I
anymore.
really like this one. It's super fun. And I'm like, when? What did I just like completely zone out and miss when it got great for 20 minutes? And then
I definitely
it's
like
just such a drag.
parts
Yeah.
of the end of it. There's parts of it that are really good. Like Viggo in the beginning is great. Viggo for
Yeah.
the rest of the movie just doesn't do it for me. It doesn't work.
No.
He's not scary.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the scene where Ken Foree is underneath the truck or
Yeah.
the car, whatever it is, and he's like, and Viggo or Aragorn is trying to.
Every time we say Viggo, I'm going to automatically think of fucking Ghostbusters too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
when Aragorn's trying to hit Ken Foree with the axe,
That's good.
he'll never be. And he's like laughing, like all of a sudden he changed personalities.
Yeah.
I was like, "What? You're not like a clown.
No.
Why are you laughing like that?"
You're not a clown. Viggo Mortensen, you're not a clown.
You're not a clown.
Yeah, you're the fucking king, dude.
Bring up Ken Foree. I will say every good part of this movie has Ken Foree in it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
he's the best part of the movie.
Anytime that he's not in it, it's probably not a good part of the movie.
yeah. This is probably going to tank this portion of the episode because it's been hours since I watched this, and I still have this. I'm still trying to put the puzzle pieces together,
Okay.
and I
All
can't
right.
fucking.
I'm
do it.
excited. I
all
like when we
fit.
do this.
They don't
They
all
don't all
fit.
fit,
They don't all
yeah.
fit.
There's some missing pieces.
Look, to make the puzzle that is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 fit, to make the jigsaw puzzle fit, you got to use scissors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah. So the opening text says that W.E. Sawyer was killed in 1981 via the gas chamber.
Okay, I
Right.
think that's supposed to be the hitchhiker.
No, because his name's Dubbins.
Yeah.
I also looked into all this.
Chop Top, maybe Chop Top.
Nope.
That's what okay, then the cook.
Nope.
Okay, then who the fuck?
Hold on, it's gonna get. It's like, okay,
it's gonna get better. Yeah. It's gonna get clearer. Okay, cool.
I was mint like this fucked me up so much because I could not get past it until I stopped the movie and started researching because I couldn't pay attention to the movie. So opening text says W.E. Sawyer was the only member of the family that was caught and arrested and tried, right? Mm-hmm. And he was killed via the gas chamber in 1981. And then I was like, well, that I did the exact same thing that you did. I was like, who's W.E. Sawyer? I don't know who the fuck that is. Like, they don't call these people by names half the time. So went back and looked at the cast in part 2 and part 1, nothing. So then I found
part 2 is after 1981 anyways.
Exactly. Oh, dude, this doesn't stop here. So that's going to be the other part of it. So I was like, my brain started to
full
melt.
Charlie Day meme already.
Oh yeah. So then it said the jurors concluded that Leatherface was an alternate personality of W.E. Sawyer.
Right.
So then I was like, okay, well, W.E. Sawyer's Leatherface, who's named Bubba in the first one, right? Mm-hmm. So then I was like, so then it says, if that's true, he's dead. But if it's not, he's still alive.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, the jurors concluded that he was an alternate personality of W.E. Sawyer, but now you're saying that if that was true, then Leatherface is dead. So okay.
Specifically this part, I kind of understand if they're thinking that it's a different person. Like if they're thinking it's Chop Top or the Hitchhiker, and then, Leatherface was just his split personality.
Split personality.
Then in that case, that makes sense.
Right.
But
that's the
otherwise,
Okay. So the jurors are convinced that, okay, well, if we got our guy, then he's taken care of, but maybe we didn't get our guy and Leatherface is still out there.
Right.
So then I'm like, okay, well, still, who the fuck is W.E. Sawyer? So then I go and I find out that W.E. Sawyer doesn't come in until Next Generation. W.E. Sawyer is in Next Generation. His name is W.E. Slaughter, and he's the one who's constantly quoting all of the like poetry
everybody.
And shit.
Yeah.
So, everybody. And
who's oddly educated.
Oddly educated.
Yeah.
And then he dies in, or I just watched the movie and I don't remember if he dies or not. Watched
the end of that one gets a little sloppy.
Yeah. Shit. When is the last time you see him? Does Maddie Mac kill him?
I thought so. Yeah. I just watched this yesterday. I should know that.
I literally just watched it as well.
Yeah, me too. Like an hour ago. I genuinely can't.
The end of this movie has always done this to me.
These movies are at these crucial moments.
Shut your fucking mouth, Derek.
So, but regardless, I'm almost. I know he dies. I know he dies in part 4, but I don't remember how. So that means in part 3, the character that doesn't show up until part 4 is caught in 1981, killed, but shows up in a movie that takes place in 1994.
Yeah,
and is still alive.
So what really happened here is they made up a fucking character, and then they reverse retconned in Next Generation that he exists.
Yeah,
but that still doesn't make any sense because the character that they're now acknowledging exists was acknowledged to have been murdered in the gas chamber prior to the movie that you're currently watching.
Yes. Over a decade before. The first time that you mention him, which is 4 years past, first time they mention him.
Says Vilmer flies into a rage, slashing himself with a razor, killing Heather by crushing her skull under his cybernetic leg before knocking W.E. unconscious with a hammer.
Okay,
and then at the end of the movie, the person on the gurney is supposed to be Sally Hardesty.
Right.
Yeah.
That is, that's what's her face.
But
this is
Sally is said to be killed in the beginning of 3.
Yeah.
Saying that she died in a mental health institution.
Yeah.
Which is why it's funny whenever I look up the timeline for these, they're like, well, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm like,
no, it's
fucking
not.
Can't be. That's impossible because they're completely different characters. Like Grandpa's alive now, walking around, and then there's
wait, what?
In the
in
fourth
Next
one,
Generation.
yeah.
That's supposed to be the same grandpa. I thought that they just brought in a whole new crew of dead.
Yeah, I thought that was.
Well, see, that's kind of where
doesn't
I'm
make
at,
sense for the timeline.
Because it's not the same family.
Yeah,
it's a complete. It's kind of what I like about Next Generation.
It's the next
even
generation,
in the beginning, it's the next generation. Yeah, a Texas Chainsaw Massacre had it. So when a Texas Chainsaw Massacre and a Texas Chainsaw Massacre really love each other, they make the next generation of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Come on, guys, it's just science.
I feel like this is Saved by the Bell, the college years version of the TCM universe.
It is. I mean, it 100% is.
Exactly what it feels like.
That's the perfect explanation for it.
Wait, hold on.
It's not the same.
Is that Leatherface Jr.? Leatherface the second? The next.
Are you saying
the next
it's
generation?
the same grandpa in the fourth one? That's supposed to be the same guy, or no?
No, I can't be because it's all new.
Okay,
because
he's dead in the third one.
Because in the third one, his face gets exploded by bullets.
But not just that, like his intact body gets murked in the third one, but he got exploded by a fucking grenade in the second one.
Yeah,
like why is his body all intact in the third one?
Wire.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah, good catch. I didn't.
Wait, are you telling me that there's inconsistencies in these?
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
The movie's good, but it's got plot holes.
Yeah, I mean.
Also, so the family in part 3. Okay, I understand that the family in part 4 is different, even though. Hold on. New thought. Okay. The family in part 4 is the next generation, but yet one of the members of the next generation is supposedly W.E. Sawyer, which is supposedly part of the original family that was tried and convicted in 1981.
But it wasn't even titled The Next Generation until like a couple years after its release.
That's right. Yeah, it was the return of the Texas Chainsaw.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
However,
are you sure? Gave it that title after Renée Zellweger and McConaughey started getting famous, and they're like, "Hey, let's put them on the cover and get a new title and start selling it." Yeah, and that's why they got the dude.
Well, I know it was shelved for a couple years.
Yeah,
and they released it because they got big.
Yeah, McConaughey did A Time to Kill in '96, and that was the same year that Renée Zellweger was in Jerry Maguire.
Right.
So they were like,
Time to Kill is a fantastic movie.
I think it was the same thing with Cabin in the Woods, is that got shelved for years, and then Chris Hemsworth got cast as Thor, and they were like, maybe
same thing with
which is
same thing with
maybe now that a Marvel superhero's in it. I'm like, no, this is a great fucking movie. What are you guys doing?
It had it's one of the best movies to ever get shelved for multiple years. Like, what? What do you're fucking insane.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Next Generation was fun. I think what's crazy to me is it's like the first Texas Chainsaw supposed to be a comedy, unintentionally fucking horrifying. And then they were like, all right, we'll make the second one intentionally funny. And I loved it, but it bombs because people are like, we didn't want it to be funny. And they're like, all right, we're going to make a third one and we're going to make it intentionally fucking gritty and horrifying. And then it was just whiff. Bad. And then they were like, what the fuck do people want out of this franchise? All right, let's make it super camp, I guess. Like, what do we do?
I honestly
we'll give him a cybernetic leg, and I'm like,
I
this
think
is perfect. Yeah,
so much better than than maybe not 2. 2 works pretty good, but it works so much better than what they try to do in 3, which is watching 3. I was like, on paper, this isn't that much different than Next Generation. But
for sure.
The same things that they kind of started playing with in 2 or in 3. God, there's so many of these and they're all numbers.
Yeah.
Like Next Generation takes and goes, okay, well, we can do that better. We can do that better. Give that to him. Like instead of Leatherface having a fucked up leg.
There.
And that's my favorite part, honestly, because it makes it so okay, so the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is just some shit that happened, but
did they actually call it the Illuminati? Did I miss that?
It says Illuminati wrecking on the tow truck, and then it's heavily implied that they're the Illuminati. Which, if you're the Illuminati, I don't think that you're putting Illuminati wrecking on your tow truck.
No,
it's like reverse psychology. You got to misdirect them.
Yeah,
obviously.
Right?
Yeah, they know that you think they wouldn't do that.
Because you know what? I'm sure that driving around in the South, in Texas, with something that says the Illuminati, definitely wouldn't have any issues. You're totally fine. There's no problem.
But also, you're not going to say shit to that guy.
No, you're not.
You talk shit, and then that version of Matthew McConaughey steps out of his truck. You're just going to drive away.
Yeah, I'm gone.
Yeah,
because that version of Matthew McConaughey is fucking unhinged. Like, holy
this is
shit.
a great sequel to Dazed and Confused.
Yes. This is what happens when you spend all your time hanging around.
Yeah.
He says, all right in it.
He does. I got that in my notes.
Yeah. I was like, yeah.
In my head, where does Dazed and Confused take place?
Oh, that's a great question.
It's like the Midwest or something, right?
I think it's Texas.
Oh, is it Texas?
It's got to be Texas.
I think it's Texas.
Oh. You guys just did a whole...
Because otherwise Matthew McConaughey wouldn't have done it.
Collection of this one.
Yeah, it's in Austin. Confused. Takes place in Austin in 1976.
So that means...
Yeah, that lines up.
So that means at the end of Dazed and Confused, he went and got Aerosmith tickets. He went to that show, did a lot of acid, and was forever changed.
He tried to drive back. Wait. He tried to drive back on acid.
What?
He got to do a car wreck. His fucking leg broke.
Yeah.
Now he's got to have the cybernetic thing.
Exactly. Yeah. That's end of episode.
Renée Zellweger is in fucking...
Yeah, she's in both of these movies. Yes.
Yeah, she's... No, wait. No, it's not her. It's not her.
No, it's
wait,
not,
dude.
It's not Dazed or...
she's in Dazed and Confused.
No, she's not.
You're thinking of Joey Lauren Adams.
Yeah.
And
you're also, or you're thinking of Mila Jovovich.
Oh, really? Renée Zellweger, first listing, Dazed and Confused. What's up, bud?
Who the fuck was she in Dazed and Confused?
Oh, that's right. She's the one that's like, not. Don't worry about it.
Dude, I'm on the IMDb. I literally don't. Yeah, what are you looking at?
Letterbox. Hold on.
Is Letterbox fucking wrong?
No, don't say that.
Yeah, I'm scrolling. Yeah, dude, I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling through.
Letterbox is infallible.
I was so cocky like a minute ago. Dude, she's uncredited. Uncredited. Girl in blue truck.
Blue truck.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Okay.
All right. I stand corrected. God damn it.
That's great.
Also, she's uncredited. So
yeah.
Uncredited.
So doesn't count. She didn't do it. There's no proof that she did it.
And Matthew still found her.
Yeah.
Right.
But so what if that doesn't add up on the timeline? Because there's a fucking 15-year difference or some shit in between.
It lines up enough.
Movies. It lines up enough. The people who wrote this movie didn't give a fuck about a timeline, so it doesn't matter.
You know what? I will push back on that because it's Kim Henkel. He probably actually cared. Because it was Hooper and Henkel made the first one.
That's right.
Yeah.
I just look.
I like the idea.
I think
it was Fede Alvarez when he was talking about the new one from Netflix that we'll talk about later. But they were like, so this is a requel. This just takes place immediately after the first one. And he was like, no, it's just another Texas Chainsaw movie. And he's like, I like to believe that all of these movies took place in the same universe. And he's like, they're all just kind of weird, like folklore. Like you don't know what's true and what's not. Like it's all just kind of like however you want to see your own thing. Because they're all different families, all doing different things. And I was like, okay, that's an easy cop-out way to be like, I'm just gonna make another Texas Chainsaw movie and I don't need it to technically connect to anything, but I feel like that's what this whole franchise is all about. Is you're like, the date doesn't fucking matter. There's the guy who wears the skin, there's the creepy family.
But that only starts in part 3, because part 1 and 2, I mean, at least it ties together.
Yeah.
But part 3 is like, wait a minute, where did the woman with the mom, like where did she come from?
Yeah, I mean, it's still the second one's still a big departure from the first one.
Oh, it's the big departure in terms of like story and tone.
Yeah,
but
and
it's supposed to be at least they
just have some old house in the side of the desert road.
But like,
and now they got a carnival underground.
They upgrade.
Yeah,
got a good realtor. They figured it out. They started a business. They realized like I can't keep doing this.
See, they got the theme park and then they got bored and they dug the tunnels. You know,
that's right. And then they were like, you know what? Nobody's going to trespass on my property this way. So then maybe
in the 70s, they're all fucking disturbed as fuck. In the 80s, they're all hilarious. It's like,
maybe they realized they were just living. They were just too stressed. They needed to.
So what happened was that they moved into the theme park, and then they were hanging out in the catacombs. And they got bored, so they all started doing fucking stand-up routines to each other.
Yeah, they started doing a bunch of 80s coke and just like listening to hair metal.
Just about to say that. Yeah. But
no more disco. And they're like, all right, let's fucking hair metal.
But at least they tried to, acknowledge characters from the first one.
Yeah.
As
for sure.
The same family.
Yes.
But even then they fuck it up a little bit because Chop Top is just a new motherfucker.
Yeah, where did he come from?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a fantastic addition.
Calling people dog dicks.
as one does.
Yes. Yeah.
But
I'm bringing it back.
How they approach
it's never left, man. It's never been gone.
Dog dick.
Yeah, but how they approach part 3 is like, I don't know. I don't get it.
Well, it's because it was New Line taking over. So they bought the rights from Canon and said, we're going to try to go back to the basics and make it a gritty, like scary movie and get rid of the humor from part 2. And so it was essentially
that's fine,
a reboot.
But why cast like all the bad guys are really attractive?
Yes, that was off-putting.
There is not
as hot as fuck.
Aragorn's hot as fuck. Even
Aragorn?
like the pervy gas station dude is like, oh, one of his eyes is a little weird, but like he's still just a normal looking actor, dude.
Yeah.
Like he's good at being creepy, but he doesn't look fucking Texas family fuck.
No.
Matthew McConaughey, he fit in Next Generation. Viggo Mortensen, he looks too good.
And that's the weird. I really wonder if Kim Henkel was like saw 3 and was like, I bet I could do that better.
Oh, I totally think so.
Oh, that absolutely feels like what Next Generation was. Because at least 2 is a significant departure in like tone and story, whereas 3 and 4 felt like the same movie, just put through different like filters, or the director was on a different type of narcotic when they made it.
I wonder if what's his name, Kim
Henkel.
Yeah. It makes me wonder if he was because he wasn't part of 2, right? It makes me wonder if he was if he was bothered at Hooper's directional choice in part 2 to where he felt.
I believe so, because Kim Henkel was the one, and this will make all the sense in the world, but Kim Henkel was like the experimental filmmaker of the 2.
Mm-hmm.
So like Toby was more like the gore, the horror stuff.
Yeah.
Where Kim Henkel was the one who, if you watch his like early films and shit from college, it's all like super trippy, like hippie shit. And like, and I think that clearly like his vision is a lot weirder.
Yeah.
Like,
so it makes me wonder if Next Generation
pyramid
was
stomach nipples.
Right. Yeah. Like, so it makes me wonder if Henkel was like, you know what? Fuck you. I can do that better.
I think so. I kind of feel like that.
Yeah.
That's certainly how it feels.
I prefer,
he's not wrong.
I 100% prefer Next Generation over part 2. I don't give a fuck.
Wow.
I like them. I like them both equally for
that's fine
for different reasons. Like
part 2,
I think they both, those two, I think make more sense in the same world than most of the other movies in this franchise.
Oh yeah, it's part 1.
It's about to take a big leap, right?
Yeah.
Like that,
Oh yeah. Well, the next ones are the remake and the beginning.
Yeah, it's different timelines and different everything.
Well,
at
totally.
that point, right?
Yeah, because it's and to me, it's always going to be part 1 and then the beginning and then Next Generation. Because like I haven't watched Next Generation in a long time until today, and I was surprised at like the beginning half of the movie is what it is, but once they all get to the house, dude, it gets fucked up.
Oh, dude, it's fucking. That's what I was thinking about it. Like the fucking Leatherface scenes where he's like chasing people and grabbing people.
Dude, it's awesome.
And then that one truck scene with Maddie and fucking and Renee.
And Renee? Yeah.
Those, like, the fucking intensity of those scenes, if you took the soundtrack out, it's equal to fucking the first one. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
And it just goes.
It
and
doesn't
for way
stop.
longer than either of the previous two movies have gone.
It was
Like,
really
with
fucked
the
up
other
for
shot.
me because I was trying to crunch it in because it was getting late and I 1.5x'd it. And McConaughey is fucking psychotic like to another level in that.
He's psychotic at normal speed, but
Josh, you had to do that for one of the first movies we did. What was one of the Jason movies, I think, right?
Yeah, it was the first Friday the 13th. So I was like, oh fuck, I got to chew through these before the podcast.
Yeah, I haven't watched a movie sped up like that. Like maybe I did in small sample sizes, but not a chunk of like 25 minutes of a movie.
I wish I had done Leprechaun Origins like that. There's been a few. I should have done Leatherface. I should have done part 3 like that. That was 85 minutes, and it felt like 2.5 hours.
There's a really nice shots of the fucking of just like landscapes and shit in that movie.
They linger on so much shit in that movie. I'm like, how long are we going to stare at this dying armadillo?
Yeah, oh my god.
There's so many dead animals in that one.
Fucking, just hit it with the fucking van. We don't have to do all this shit, man. Like, so unnecessary.
There's a difference between when a movie like is intentionally paced that way, and they're lingering on something for a while to like raise the tension or make you feel like a certain way about something, and then there's movies where it's just like, we need to fill out this runtime. So let's just spend a couple extra minutes fucking everywhere. And I'm like, this is unnecessary. You're just padding it now.
Yeah.
My brain goes all over the place when I watch a movie that's slow. Like I'll see a scene where there's a bear trap scene, and my mind's like, man, I should start a letterbox list with movies that got bear trap scenes. And then it just like veers off for like 5-10 minutes of shit like that. Like I have no idea what I just watched. I don't know what just happened. I do want a list like that though. That'd be a cool list.
They do that on IMDb too. Like you can search things, you can add keywords.
No, that's right.
Oh, really?
And it gets
I didn't realize
weird. Yeah, it gets weird.
Nice.
I bet you somebody tagged TCM3 with bear trap.
How many bear trap scenes can you think? I mean, we did in our last franchise. We're not Troll. Friday the 13th. There's definitely one or two. Might be more than that franchise.
Troll? Did you just call it Troll?
No, sorry. Leprechaun. But
yeah, please, let's not be racist.
Troll, alliteration. Yeah. There's a fumble of words there.
Speaking of Troll, I thought the guy in TCM3 was the dude from Troll 2 because they look identical, but that's not the same guy.
Yeah,
it's not the same guy. It's not the
He's
same
so
guy.
fucking annoying. And you know what doesn't help the Troll comparison is that he delivers all of his lines like that one fucking scene where he's in Troll 2 where he's like, and then they're gonna get me, and it's like every fucking line through the whole movie he delivers in the same like.
But it's not the same actor.
It's not at all. But it doesn't help the fucking Troll comparison at all.
Might as well be.
Also,
Also,
it's the Troll 2 of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It is. Side note: bear trap is like within the first like 20 keywords on Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. So,
there you go.
There you go,
Nice.
dude.
It's also in the first 20 keywords of my dating profile.
Yeah. then you type it, you click on bear trap, and then there's 141 titles of movies that all have bear traps in it, dude.
All right, so we're gonna do a bear trap episode where we watch all of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh cool.
Let's rank them.
There's a bear trap in Ginger Snap's back.
Yeah.
That.
That's right.
Yeah. Good one.
Fucking bear traps.
Okay, name a couple more, dude.
Yeah.
This is our bear trap interlude.
Yeah. Did you know? Apparently, in McConaughey's autobiography, he said this was one of his favorite characters to play.
Oh really?
Man,
that's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah. It has to be, right?
Yeah,
I
saw that mentioned somewhere.
I would love to have a conversation with him because obviously in this movie, everybody's trying to make a TCM movie, and he's in his own universe.
Yeah. Well, apparently he was initially getting casted as a very small part. He was just supposed to be riding a motorcycle in the beginning of the movie. And he's the one that told the producers, hey, I want to audition for, what's his name in the
Vilmer
movie? Yeah. See, I want to audition for Vilmer. Like that's my role. And sure enough, he fucking gets it and kills it.
I did.
I want to know what that fucking audition was.
Well,
was he just fucking
I watched a podcast with him a couple years ago where he finally talked about it, where he said that was the first time that he felt confident enough to just say, you know what, fuck it. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. But I'm gonna have to just put myself out there. And he said that he walked out of the audition. Or walked out of talking to them about the original role that they were going to cast him in, gets halfway to his car and he was like, you know what, fuck it, and then turned around and then walked in and was like, no, I'm reading for him. That's my part, and then like forced the audition to happen essentially. And they were like, oh shit, okay,
yeah.
I mean that works. Awesome. I guess you scare them into it. Like, hey, motherfuckers, like, I'm reading for this role. And they're like, oh, you.
Vilmer, God damn it.
It definitely seems like he's capable of some shit. Maybe we should consider this.
Yeah. I love the fact that his kryptonite is just remote controls.
Just shitty remote controls. I also love the juxtaposition of he was able to build that fucking thing, but also is not smart enough to have it be better than just a shitload of remote controls randomly.
Yeah. And 90s shitty remote controls.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 10 backups.
Like watching it now, I was like, oh, this is actually a lot more feasible in 2024. Like you could build that technically. Like that's not that bad. You got some Arduinos and shit. Like you're fine. Yeah. But like back then, that's fucking impressive. That's crazy.
Yeah. So is he.
Yeah. How about in the beginning when he's chasing that dude Sean in the truck and like he doesn't decide to just run off into the woods. He just stays on the path to inevitably get hit by his truck. like you got so many trees to the left and right that you could just fucking split off. And he's just backing up like
just go
eventually
left.
Catch up to you.
Fucking Matthew McConaughey going, race fans, here we go, has been in my fucking head since because I saw this when I was like a little kid. It was on Cinemax and I recorded it and then I watched it over and over and over again. And like ever since then, it's just been in my head every time.
And it's
so much stuff from this movie.
You know, to go back to whenever they finally get it all into the house, like the whole stages of those interactions, it's fucking like weird. Like it has a really weird vibe. Like you just walked it. It's like it's like that time, James, I know you'll know, we've been in this situation where you're hanging out with people and you're like, hey, we're going to go to my buddy's house. And you're like, who's this? You'll like them. And then you go and then it's just a weird group of people that are just, something doesn't feel right. And then they start
totally
arguing.
Chill.
You know?
They're totally chill.
Fucking
and it's psychopaths.
And you're sitting there like, I shouldn't be here.
Like, and you're like, wait a minute, why does my friend think that these people are okay too? Like that's fucked up.
Yeah,
it's such a Florida story. Everybody in Florida's got those stories. Dude.
Yeah.
You know what it really reminded me of? Watching it, the stuff in the house specifically it reminds me of like, what if we took the concept of the serial killers in I Saw the Devil, except they were Texans, and we made a whole movie about them, and like this is what that family would operate as.
That's a good.
And I love that like things are going good, and then things are going real fucked, and like everything's crazy and shit, and then the dude comes in and calms things down, but that just makes everything more crazy, and it's like because they're all insane. Like of course it stops making any logical sense at some point because they're just reacting to them reacting.
I think this family is more dysfunctional than the original family.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd say so.
Are they actually family in this one? That's another thing. Is who the fuck are these people?
Oh
Yeah, I don't know because I think her name's Darla, the lady. I think that's her name.
I think she's supposed to be a real estate agent.
I guess that's her cover. But she says, "Don't make me go back to my husband."
Yeah, and also she said something about why I have to be here.
Yeah.
Well,
but
isn't she convinced that there's a bomb in her head and Vilmer can fucking blow her up?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So like, who? How, what?
Illuminati, dude. They're
that's the other thing is I feel like that's also something that's just not spoken in the movie is like she's implying that like they have something on her as well, that the Illuminati is like has to be there to like mind them. I think that she's supposed to be like their den mother.
Yeah. But so they're not a family, but yet Vilmer calls Leatherface's brother.
Okay.
Does he?
Yeah.
They call him Junior, don't they? Throughout this one? Or was that in the third one?
I don't even remember.
I think that's the third one.
I might have just made that up. I don't know what the fuck.
No, I remember Junior.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember. I think because I just got the two of them confused again when I was trying to put it together. I was like, wait, what was the one where the guy was like, I was going to use your bathroom anyway, and then he locks the guy out of his own house and then goes to the bathroom.
Oh yeah, that's part 4.
That's part 4, right? Yeah, because then he turns around and notices the entire skin suit hanging out to dry, and then the skin body in the tub. He's like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "How did you miss that?"
And why are you surprised?
Yeah.
When I was watching that scene, I was just thinking about them being like, "All right, so we got to hang this." Like the set deck people like, "All right, we got to hang this on the door, right?" Okay, yeah. This doesn't look enough like a skin suit. All right, let's try that. Try that. You know what? Let's make sure one of the nipples is showing.
Yeah,
that'll sell it.
We need a nipple.
Then you'll know it's a skin suit.
Otherwise, it just looks like a flesh-colored blanket. We need people to know. Yeah, this isn't just like a towel hanging up to dry.
Also, the decomposing corpse and acid in the bathtub, that probably won't sell it. We're going to have to show the nipple for sure.
He also set that chick on fire at the end.
Yeah. And she barely reacted for like the first 5 seconds, 6 seconds.
Well, I mean, to be fair, she was. I'm sure she was on the way out.
She was a little.
She was on the way out. She had a meat hook. I'm pretty sure she had a meat hook shoved through her spine.
Yeah,
she might not have even felt it.
Which we did get audio for this time.
Yeah.
We did get some Foley there that time.
Yeah. But yeah, that chick went through it.
Yeah.
And then the scene where Matthew McConaughey starts spitting in Renée Zellweger's fucking face.
Yeah, like 4 times.
Like that's what I mean. I feel like it just that whole scene. That's the closest. Now it's not the exact same kind of scene as the dinner table scene in the original, but I feel like, and I understand why part 2 didn't have anything like that. It was supposed to be something totally different, but I think that's the closest we've seen throughout the entire series of something and trying to embody the same kind of like, what the fuck is going on level of chaos.
I think that's why the first one. I really like it because it does like all the parts with Leatherface grabbing people and going through the house and like just like what the fuck is Matthew McConaughey doing at any point in this movie? Like all these different
living his best life,
and it's all happening at the same time, overlapping and shit. And then there's this guy in a fucking suit. It's just chaos, and it's the only way. First off, it is all the stuff from the first one amplified, so you get that part. But then also like it's the same. You're overwhelmed by how much is going on in it. You're even they're even like, oh, well, we have to amp it even more. So we're going to have metal through just this one cut of her being chased by this truck. And like, is it the best? No. But is it a little bit more intense? Probably. Like,
yeah. And they got drive-through pizza.
Yeah.
Is drive-through pizza a real thing? I've never seen a drive-through pizza.
The only drive-through pizza I've had has been bad.
Drive-through pizza.
You know, the McDonald's in Quebec, Canada used to serve pizza, which is weird. Used to be so you could get that.
But even weirder, they refuse to serve it through the drive-thru.
Yeah. You got to come in for that.
You can't order that in the drive-thru.
Drive-thru pizza is never good, guys. You got to come into McDonald's to get the pizza.
Pizza box is too big. Won't fit through the window. Yes, it fucking will. No, it won't.
It's a personal pizza.
Yeah. This is Canada, bitch.
Yeah.
Windows are smaller. Because bears.
And bear traps.
Yeah, you don't want big.
Careful.
Yeah, exactly.
And there we go.
Oh, okay. Good. We brought it back.
Brought it back.
You like that?
I don't know why we brought it back to bear traps, but we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I had not either. I haven't seen it, or I just did not remember it at all. But I had not seen part 4 either since I was a child or ever. So this is like essentially a new viewing for me. And I feel like Barry is one of those top tier. I can't fucking wait for this guy to die type characters.
Oh yeah.
Which one was Barry?
He's the boyfriend, where you're like, he's cheating
yeah.
on her. That's shitty. And then they're like, I heard about all those girls you lied to sexually assault. And he's like, it's not my fault. They're too stupid to fall for it. And I'm like, this guy
I do
needs
love
to
that
die
Renée Zellweger
immediately.
is fucking relentless to him though. Calls him out on all of them. So good.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
He didn't die violently enough, honestly.
That's what as soon as he finally gets hit by Leatherface, I'm like, oh, that's it. Like I had been spoiled by like Jason folding the guy with the bed and like other horror movies where I was like, nah, I really wanted to see this guy suffer for a minute. This was just like a one and done. But
yeah, the other guy gets fucking driven over 15 times.
Yeah.
That's way worse.
One of my favorite Leatherface parts in part 4 is when first it's right back to back almost as first, because right before that he puts her on before he even puts her on the meat hook, he throws her in the cooler. And when he slams the door shut and then he starts to run away and she opens it and he slams it again and then he just yells at the door. He's just like and then like right after that, after he hits Barry and then he's like hitting him while he's down, and then he does the exact same thing where he just stands there and just at him. It's like, I feel that.
This
Robert
was our
Jackson's
most vocal Leatherface, I think, so far.
By far.
I kind of like it actually, like not as much as the first. And I think the first is the most iconic and best.
Yeah, for sure.
But just screaming and being a complete fucking maniac. And
and I like that he doesn't try to like communicate ever. It's just screaming and howling and whining and shit. Because that's always been integral to me as part of Leatherface. Is like he's not a person. He's just a fucking like wild
animal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's an animal that knows how to operate a chainsaw.
That's what's so off-putting in the second one. And again, the second one is more of a comedy than anything else at that point.
Right.
But when he's all like horny and likes her, it's like, I don't know, man.
It's my least favorite part of the whole fucking movie.
Yeah. In part 4, dude has serious moves. Like at the end, when he's swinging around.
I'll say design-wise, not my favorite Leatherface. I think my favorite Leatherface is still tuxedo and makeup Leatherface from the first one. But it's his physicality in this one is crazy. He's explosive as fuck. He's fast.
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna say whenever we were talking about the chase scene through the woods in the first one, where Gunnar had to run slow because of the stuff that was in front of her and all that. Whereas it was the exact opposite in that chase scene in part 4. Renée Zellweger was hauling ass. And he was
Renée Zellweger
on top
can fucking run, bro. Good God.
She did fantastic in this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the thing that I never understood is why, and the older we get, it seems more like it was their fucking agents that were behind it. But like, I've never understood why McConaughey and Zellweger supposedly had issues with this movie, because like they're the highlights of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, they're 2 Academy Award winning actors in fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4.
And but it's like one of their first movies, and they're already both like instantly stars. Like like the camera loves them. They're fucking constantly pitch perfect.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it's also how part of what makes McConaughey's scenes and his intensity in that in a lot of those scenes is how she's reacting to him. Like there's something about, because out of all these movies, it's kind of frustrating to watch like female characters get deduced down to just hysterical, like I'm just gonna scream and that's it. But the way Renée acted in this, the way she vocalized her fear made it felt like way more fucked up. Yeah, because of how she genuinely sounded like she was like in that, and it just gave it a different vibe.
Yeah. It's not just screaming. There's wailing and crying.
Yeah. There's just
telling Leatherface to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, so good.
You sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
And what's funny is like anyone else, if any one of the other characters from this, except for Stretch, tried to pull that shit, you'd be like, that doesn't work. But Renée Zellweger put her fucking chest into that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is odd. I wonder. I think it has to be like their agents or their management or something who's essentially disowned it on their behalf. Because Matthew McConaughey, for one, doesn't seem like the kind of guy to be like embarrassed and I don't want to talk about this type of movie.
Why would that dude ever care?
Yeah, but I remember when they released the movie on like Blu-ray or something, it was going to be that original cover art with Leatherface in the middle and then Matthew McConaughey and Renée Zellweger on either side. And apparently somebody's like, no, we don't want their likeness on there. Like, you're not going to use them to sell this movie. Like, why the fuck not?
Yeah, why the fuck not?
Yeah. Don't you get a piece of that? Like, come on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't get it.
But yeah, again, apparently in his autobiography, he says he loved that role.
Right.
So I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't read his autobiography. I just saw that somewhere.
Yeah.
But,
it's always like another side tangent or whatever. What was Jeff Daniels asked his agent? He was like, "Yeah, did you see that script I sent you?" And the agent was like, "Yeah, this is a really like stupid movie. Like." This will be terrible for your career. This is not like awards bait or anything. I don't recommend it at all. And then he asked his manager and he was like, what do you think? His manager's like, I think it's funny. Fucking do it. And so Jeff Daniels said, okay. And he did Dumb and Dumber, which is probably his most popular movie. Like he's obviously got a stacked resume, but anytime someone says Jeff Daniels, you think of Dumb and Dumber pretty quickly. So
absolutely.
There's always the agents that think they're looking out for you. And then like, nah, just fucking how you can do a fun movie. They don't all have to be Oscar bait.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
that's wild that you have that this is Derek, you haven't seen part 4 yet until now.
No.
Gotcha.
That's the first time.
First
time I've seen it, and I watched it at fucking 1.5x.
At least I watched it as it was meant to be.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Well, like the last like 25-30 minutes I did, and which was like the coolest part.
Yeah.
So
you watched every millisecond.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe he got taken out by a plane.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
I can't even believe that is a line that you could say about this movie.
Yeah. Matthew McConaughey killed by plane propeller.
But just that whole sequence leading to that's nuts. Like she got the fucking people in the RV killed.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Spottish.
Like what?
There's a monster chasing her, Mr. Spottish.
Don't stop.
But I do like that she opens the door and tries to get her and like tries to save her.
Yeah.
It goes fucking horribly wrong. But
horrible.
The Spottishes
didn't work
stand
out.
up people.
Yeah. That's so weird.
Yeah. That's crazy. I was completely forgetting the entire ending. So when you said the plane, I was like, wait a minute, there was a plane. Like, how did I miss? How did I forget that? This is one of those movies where I just like, I look down to check a text message notification or something and I miss way too much.
Well, because it goes from a pyramid stomach nipple guy coming in to the house and like out of nowhere, and like you're like, wait, what the fuck is going on? And then
why'd he show up then?
Well, because they're monitoring it and like you guys aren't doing a good enough job of scaring her. I guess they were being pussies.
Yeah.
So then he was like, let me show you how to do it. So he starts licking her face, which Okay, I guess.
Sure.
I mean, that's awkward and annoying.
It's probably pretty scary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in that
but
situation, it's
definitely-
certainly not hurting the terror.
Yeah, but definitely doesn't surpass robot leg McConaughey.
But McConaughey also wasn't killing anybody.
No,
like he.
Well,
That's,
I mean-
I think that's the weird part of this movie is that it's about how this is not as good as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre as the other ones.
Yeah, there's
And
no chainsaw.
So they had to
deaths in-
intervene and fucking. So the Illuminati had to intervene and make sure we got to show these new kids how to do a real Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then it just, but that sends Matthew McConaughey off into a spiral. So then he's just he's just raging, and then he fucking power boots her to death, and then
Power boots.
and then it just immediately spins out of fucking control and immediately goes into the last chunk of the movie, which just happens at fucking breakneck speed, faster for Derek, but just fucking breakneck speed because he's killing her, and then she just kind of like
fight.
Yeah,
remote control fight.
There's a legitimate remote control fight.
Yeah, you know what? Texas Chainsaw 2 had a chainsaw fight. Texas Chainsaw Next Generation has a remote control fight. So which one do you think is better?
Dude, remote control all the fucking way. That shit was riveting.
You know what? It's 2024. I bet we could have a remote control chainsaw fight.
I bet.
Oh yeah.
I
think they have remote control chainsaws in the TikTok shop, so we can
sick. Attach it to a drone.
Get them for like $9 on Temu.
Yeah.
That can't be bad.
The chainsaw in part 3 was sick. I will give them that.
I was about to say we're approaching an hour and we haven't mentioned the chainsaw, the personally engraved huge chainsaw, and it looks so like futuristic and
who made that?
Yeah,
saw
where did they go to get that done?
So this family, the family just lives in a fucking shit cabin in the middle of fucking nowhere, assumedly, and they just know a fucking like master fucking chrome and fucking gold machinist.
They had to drive out to Austin to some fucking like hipster kid making cool ass chainsaws.
And
some
also,
craftsman,
what
some
about
hand craftsman?
Saw his family.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope.
It's pretty dope, guys. Like, what about making it golden chrome makes it waterproof again?
Dude, how about his tiny little fucking handheld saw?
Yeah, what? Oh no, I forgot about it. Oh,
in case he can't use the big chainsaw, he's got to use a little like a little dental tool. Or
he literally
hold on.
The chainsaw gets knocked out of his hands, and he pulls out a fucking Dremel tool with a fucking saw blade on it.
Yeah,
it's like a little saw the doctors use to cut your cast off your arm.
Ken Foree.
It's like one of those.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't.
And I was like, okay, so you have that, but this is the 90s. How is that powered?
Fucking batteries are probably go dead in a couple minutes.
It's like a couple double A batteries.
Couple double A.
You can cut through half a hamstring, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, why not just give him a knife? That shows the mentality that the people that made 3 was they were trying to figure out. It felt like they were trying to parody Texas Chainsaw Massacre and in a lot of parts, and it's like, why are you making this movie?
It sounds like the people who made that movie, it would like they made their version of TCM based off of someone telling them verbally what the first one is.
Yeah,
that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
It's funny. I'm actually looking at reviews on Letterboxd, and sure enough, this guy says, I love that Leatherface also carries around a mini handheld saw to use in close quarters. This is a serial killer who is always prepared.
I found one somebody I wrote down a couple it says everybody's always trying to go somewhere else to chase clout. Jason took New York. Mike Myers drove to Cali. Leprechauns in space. Only Leatherface keeps it real and reps his hometown. Got to build your local scene.
Yeah, bro, yeah. I just want a fucking a big group shot, and then in the middle, fucking Leatherface is doing Unity pose with just some fucking hardcore kid.
I also this is the most dramatic review I have ever read in my life.
I'm excited.
Ever. And it's for part 4, Next Generation.
Okay.
I don't know the mental state of this guy, but it's bad.
Always a good precursor.
And this is
always a good preface
and to kind of paint the picture, this is the 5th paragraph. This is the ending paragraph. So this is paragraph number 5. Motherfucker wrote 5 paragraphs about Next Generation.
Lord. And you're only giving us the 5th?
And I didn't. Right. Yeah, and because none of it was all gibberish. He only started to kind of pull it together at the end. I tried to follow it, but
you know what? I got an idea. I got an idea for a new podcast. We just read this guy's fucking letterbox reviews.
You might want to say this guy's name so everyone listening, including myself, can find this guy and what else he's writing.
It's the 5-paragraph review, Derek. It's probably the only 5-paragraph review.
Just look up 5-paragraph
for Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation.
Yeah. So
good point.
This bundle, yeah. So
everybody else
bundle
is sane and writing 3 sentences.
Yeah. In comes this guy. So the 5th paragraph of his review says, the kind of movie that makes you wonder what you're doing with your life while watching it. During the scene where Mad Dog and Zellweger were wrestling around on the floor, dueling with TV remotes, controlling his hydraulic leg, I was suddenly overcome by a profound sense of sadness. One day I will be dead. I will be.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wow.
One day I will be dead. I will become an unthinking, unfeeling assemblage of unspooling molecules and atoms for billions and billions of years. And rewatching this shit is how I'm choosing to spend my scant remaining days of sentience.
Oh,
Jesus fucking Christ!
And then imagine the people who
4 stars
read your review felt like having all the time they invested into that.
Oh man,
right?
Made my day.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, it was.
Awesome.
It's like, okay, I know this isn't the best movie in the world.
It doesn't warrant 5 paragraphs.
It doesn't warrant man.
That review goes way off the rails.
Yeah,
it's like
I feel like maybe there's something else going on here.
It's like reading those like random household items that you just buy off Amazon. You read a review and someone just fucking goes nuts talking about fucking God knows what. Yeah.
Oh,
that's great.
Man. So funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the actual retail therapy. You just buy something and then you leave a review about your entire life.
What's funny is I went in, I know we joked about how nobody else would do this, but I found another 5-star review that is not 11 paragraphs.
Oh my God.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation. But yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's bad.
I just don't understand. If you're going to give it 0.5 star, I don't need all that. Just say, wasn't for me. Or it was just a bad movie. Like, if you're going to give Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation 5 stars, then I would love an in-depth explanation as to what you found made this one of the greatest movies you've ever seen.
This whole podcast has just
I would love
been
to
an
read
excuse.
that. Yeah, like, hype it up. But
for
if
me
you
to
hated
explain
something,
how much I love the
I don't need 12 paragraphs for you to tell me why you thought it was crap. Just say not for me, and then we'll move on. Like, we're good.
It's the same type of person that just leaves negative reviews on Yelp for the local Starbucks, and it's just like, wow, the fucking person at the drive-through window didn't like his
I mobile ordered, and it was supposed to be ready by 1:50. I didn't get mine till 1:52.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same exact. It's the same guy. It's
Yeah,
the same guy.
it's
Same
probably
guy.
him. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, same guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guy's a legend.
These were.
I'm here for it, man. I'll read it.
Oh yeah.
I'll fucking read it and say, this is dumb. Why do people do this? Because we fucking read
Why do
it.
Why do people waste time writing this? Why do people waste time reading this? Wait a minute. Fuck.
Oh no. I'm so close to getting it.
So Derek, since this is the first time you've watched part 4, I know we've talked way more about part 4 than part 3, but I just genuinely don't have much to say about part 3.
Yeah.
It's just it felt like a completely just an incomplete movie.
Well, and it's weird because there's some really cool moments in it, but they don't pay off. Like, like the fucking, like they tie her up to a Rube Goldberg thing in order to fucking drop a hammer in her head, but then they don't even show it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. Like,
Was
I don't
there-
know.
Well, what I was going to ask you, Derek, is how you felt part 4 stacked up against all the other ones, considering it's one of my
so far
favorite ones.
to me it's first, second, fourth, third. And
I'm assuming that's your same, Josh.
Close. I still put 2 over 1 just personally, but I will. No, I can admit that the first movie is a better film, but to me, I love Texas Chainsaw 2 more. That's the one I'm gonna like throw on and rewatch more.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I think
I get
in my
that.
Letterboxd ranking, I have 2, 1, 4, 3. And I think I've got the remake in there. So like 3's at the bottom of my list right now. I haven't seen the beginning.
Okay,
and I think fittingly enough, both movies called Leatherface are at the bottom of my ranking because they're both not good. But yeah, I
also that movie barely focuses on fucking Leatherface.
Yeah,
which one? Part 3?
Part 3, the one called Leatherface.
Yeah.
Like it's barely about fucking. He's barely in the fucking thing.
It's them trying to just capitalize on the name because that's what everyone remembers from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Like,
So they're
it would have been cool if they had actually done what they seem to be alluding to, which was that Leatherface was just like, he's just fucking by himself. He's just Jason Voorheesing it, and then he gets adopted by this family, and then you actually like follow more of what happens with Leatherface, but it's just another Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, but with a less likable family.
Yeah. What's
like, okay.
So with part 3, this is what's some funny stuff that I found out that I meant to mention earlier. Did you notice who the stunt coordinator was on that one?
No.
It was Kane Hodder.
Kane Hodder, yeah.
Oh shit!
Because
that's awesome.
Yeah, with New Line CEO Bob Shea hoped to move on from the comedic tone of part 2 and bring the series back to its gritty roots and project the title character Leatherface as the primary star above the rest of the family. So the studio fast-tracked development on part 3, shot a teaser trailer with Kane Hodder as Leatherface before they even hired a director. And then Michael DeLuca hired David Shao, who was reworking A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child at the time, to write the script for part 3. Tom Savini and Peter Jackson were both considered to direct before Jonathan Batul was hired. He departed the project for unstated reasons, and then they hired Stepfather 2 director Jeff Burr. Said they were going back to hardcore horror. Burr wanted Gunnar Hansen to return to the role, but they couldn't make a deal with him. So he turned to his colleague R.A. Milhalehoff and then cast Viggo Mortensen because of Prison, which was that other movie that has Kane Hodder in it, which is what got Kane the job for Friday Part 7. So these are all connected in some way. Jeff Burr wanted to film on 16 millimeter in Texas, but they had already constructed the sets in Valencia, California before they hired him as a director.
Damn.
And so with production going over schedule and over budget, they fired him 1 week into production, but with no one else to replace him, immediately rehired him. And the filming took place so close to Six Flags that you can hear screaming in the background from people on roller coasters in certain parts of part 3.
Holy shit.
I actually heard something. I was like, was that just like ambient noise?
Right?
That's hilarious.
That's so funny.
So yeah,
Wow.
3 was
Why did
a mess from the jump.
Yeah.
I wonder why they just didn't put Kane as Leatherface.
He was a stunt double for Leatherface in the movie. I don't think he was in it as much as like Elmore did for part 2, but yeah, he was.
And they also don't have him doing that many stunts and stuff.
Yeah,
because he doesn't like.
He's
not that much stuff. So
yeah, he's hardly utilized at all.
Yeah,
for a movie that's named after him.
Yeah,
he's way more active in part 4.
They had a lot of issues getting it an R rating too, right? It took a while.
Yeah,
they were fighting hard. They submitted it 11 times.
Maybe there is a really brutal cut of it then.
Yeah,
I'd like to see an unrated. I'd like to see a fucking
Yeah, what if it's like a super fucking awesome movie?
Right? You gotta wonder because what was it? Hellraiser 4. There's like you can finally watch the work print of it now, but apparently the director's cut of Hellraiser 4 is like significantly better film,
really,
and that's why he took his name off of it because the studio just butchered it, and so it's an Alan Smithy movie now. But yeah, you got to wonder if there's like if Leatherface had to get cut that many times, and the studio was in such a rush, and they didn't know what their focus was.
Yeah, the 90s were particularly bad with that, right? Weren't they pretty strict on studios? Were really strict on and the ratings were strict with the ratings, and
especially that all started in early 90s. Like it just got really
right.
I mean, I know that happened a lot with
you know what I think. I think a big part of it is that Disney was so big that it was a fucking unstoppable juggernaut at that point. So I think all the other companies really were like, oh, we have to be family friendly because that's who's leading the way. Maybe.
I also think it might have something to do with the fact that like when you really look back at it, the 90s, a lot of shit happened in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
Like I think that was not to get super like, I don't know, serious in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 and 4 podcast. But like I think that's the 90s were when the more people in our society that were kind of in the clouds during the 80s started to realize, oh shit, like this there's a lot of fucked up shit happening in this country. The riots, like especially all the police brutality in LA and all over California, and like all of the like Oklahoma City bombing, like all of these things started happening and exploding in the 90s. Because there's a distinct difference in gore and what type of horror films were being made and all this stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were just the MPAA was just getting really strict about certain stuff. Maybe it just wasn't. Maybe they just didn't. Yeah.
Even now it's weird, right? Because like watching I think it's in 3 with there's the forensic guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was watching that and I was like, oh man, this reminds me of Bones. And like Bones. I don't know if either of you have watched Bones, but
watched a couple episodes here and there.
Bones, the further into it you get, their effects, they have the best gore of anything I've ever seen. It's fucking insane. I don't know how, like, and it's basic fucking cable or network or whatever the fuck, but because it's presented in a scientific way, like there's full on, they've shown degloving, they've shown fucking like just skin sloughing and like, bro, some of the grossest shit I've ever seen. And then also the context, like my mom could watch Bones all day and have no problem with any of the gore and shit, but fucking anything that I want to watch that's like horror, she was like, no, like can't handle it. Yeah. And it's like, that's way worse.
Yeah.
This is just straight up murder.
Yeah. I still am shocked at how the hell they were able to do the first season of Hannibal.
Oh yeah.
Derek, have you watched that show?
No.
Dude, the shit they got away with.
The kills in the first season of Hannibal were some of the most creative and just incredibly like well done and executed and displayed. Like it felt like it was art which is really weird to say, but it
genuinely was. Yeah,
it was fucking amazing.
Have you read about
it was gross?
Have you read Brian Fuller's statement on one of the kill scenes that was more brutal? He talked about it. There's it was the angel wings or whatever. So Derek, slight spoiler, but there's an episode where two people are killed and then posed in like prayer positions at the foot of a bed, and their backs are flayed to make wings. So they look like angel wings, but it's made out of their flesh and lungs and shit like that. It's awesome. And they're fully nude and they're positioned like that with their bodies completely flayed open. And they came back and they're like, we got some notes from the ratings board. And Brian's like, yeah, I figured as much. And they're like, can we pan up a little bit so you can't see their naked butt crack?
Yeah.
And he said, that's it. And they're like, yeah, it's like the male nudity. Can we subdue that? And he's like, so I like panned up a little bit. And he's like, and then I just had them like cut more so you don't see as much. Like he made it gorier to cover the butt cracks, and then that was allowed on NBC.
Dude, it's like that the whole Larry Flint speech. You've seen the People versus Larry Flint.
Oh
yeah.
And they're all going after him, and he's like showing a little boobs. Like you watch fucking war and blood and guts and fucking. It's like, what the hell?
So it's really weird that like how much people consume and want to see a dude with a mask made out of another person's face get destroyed with a chainsaw. But yet, at least in the first 4 movies, is there really a graphic shot of somebody getting completely just owned with a fucking chainsaw?
There's the dude whose head
gets
gets
the first one
split in the second one. The guy who's driving the car.
Yeah.
Oh,
but they don't
but
actually show the saw go in. They show the saw do the car, and then they go to him, and he's got the fucking flappy dude.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just weird. You would think that is one of, especially with how much gore and special effects were used in the 80s. Like you would think that would be like, oh, we're gonna fucking like turn it up.
Wouldn't it be funny if like the main reason it doesn't happen is because it just doesn't look that good?
Maybe
like as an effect, like just goring somebody, it doesn't really create as much fucking like visual as possible.
Maybe.
I just think that'd be funny.
Right.
Although in some of the ones that we're about to watch, that kind of is definitely proven wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be funny if like they tried and then they're all just standing around like that just did not go as planned.
Damn it.
Like
I mean, he's gonna have to start killing people with a knife, guys.
The gore's up there. The makeup effects are up there in the second one for sure, right? Because he's fucking dude gets skinned and
that's
and there's some really good gore in 3 actually, which is fucking crazy. But it's
which part?
I think it was in that one. There's just a couple of like there's just a couple of moments of good gore.
Yeah. I don't think there's any gore in part 4.
Nah.
I mean that.
When I say gore, I don't necessarily mean like somebody being attacked. I also mean just like anything gross
stuff.
or like bloody or there's not really.
Yeah.
I mean, he's cutting himself.
Yeah.
The bathtub.
I would really, speaking of cutting himself, I would really like to know like how much freedom they gave McConaughey. If any of how much was him just creating all of that? I
think most of it was him.
Yeah.
I think that they probably saw how crazy he could be and were like, all right, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Probably.
We got this razor. Because a lot of that ending part seems pretty improv because there's no structure. It's just like mania and then
you
fucking
psycho.
violence.
Let's see what you do with this.
Yeah. It's like the film set version of. Oh wait, no, that was the film set one of Hellraiser 2, where they gave the dude the knife and he fucking started like cutting himself.
I don't know about that.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in Hellraiser.
That's cool.
I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Not a good time. Pretty sure he cut his dick.
Yeah. Do you guys have any more notes or should we go to the Rotten Tomatoes?
I think you kept talking about the Here We Go racers or whatever. My line for having seen it for the very first time, as soon as he just starts to, and you're like, oh, he's a bad guy. When he's just like, I'm just going to fucking kill you if it ain't no biggie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, that's like, you're terrifying and very threatening, but I would be like, oh yeah, that's how I talked in 1995. So
right. Yeah.
Ain't no biggie. Yeah. He was so
I feel
good.
like I could watch that movie like right now.
Yeah.
You should put it on.
I think my rental still has a few hours on it. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta get the tape, dude.
I don't know if you caught this in the third one. I thought it was a little just ironic, where the dude calls Ken Foree, he calls him OJ, which was at the time in 1990 supposed to be like a racial thing, I would imagine.
Oh yeah,
because the OJ Simpson murder didn't happen until a few years later. But just the idea, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah,
a little crazy.
I'm honestly very surprised that there wasn't more insults hurled at Mr. Foree.
Ken.
Yeah.
In that movie.
Yeah.
Ken.
Yeah.
Mr. I like to call him Mr. Foree. But yeah, for a movie in the 90s in Texas about a bunch of hillbilly serial killers.
Yeah.
Maybe they tried and Aragorn was just like, no.
Yeah.
I'm too good for that. He knew where he was going in life.
Yeah.
You don't look that good in 1990 and not know that you've got everything laid out in front of you.
I would argue maybe not, because he did star in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Yeah.
It was just, it was just a road bump, had to do it in order to get to the next one.
Well, it's funny.
He was confident.
Not necessarily funny, but he was in prison before that, the movie Prison, and that one has a lot of really bad. Just to clarify, he was in the motion picture Prison, 1987, directed by Renée Harlan, which has a lot of really awful racial stereotypes in it.
Okay, good.
So yeah, maybe he learned from that and then put the kibosh on it in 1990 when he was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that again."
Yeah.
Wow.
What did I'm trying to remember who else, because Elijah Wood did some horror growing up. He was in like The Good Son, and then Peter Jackson, obviously, I think he made a horror movie or two. And then
a couple.
Just one or two. And then Viggo Mortensen started out in these like ridiculous slasher movies. So how many of the Lord of the Rings cast and crew got their start in these ridiculous late 80s, early 90s horror?
It's really cool that those that you can look back at their career and see them starting, and especially in this franchise. To see where they ended up going in life. It's pretty neat.
I mean, look at Elijah Wood. Now he's making horror movies.
Oh yeah.
He's still, like, damn,
fucking good in them. But it's just, somebody had mentioned it on Twitter the other day. I was trying to remember who it was, but they were like, can you imagine the discourse, or what was it like when people found out Peter Jackson was doing Lord of the Rings? Like, his only resume up until then was mostly like schlock and horror and like just stuff that the Lord of the Rings fans of today would have been like, this fucking guy is touching our holy grail. Like, you feel like the discourse would have been awful if we had Twitter and all that shit back then.
There's a really good episode of What Went Wrong about Lord of the Rings, or a couple episodes, I think there's more than one, about like how Lord of the Rings got made, and like, man, it's pretty wild. But also, like, I think a lot of people were okay with it because he was a true believer. Like, he fucking loved those movies. So they kind of didn't talk about it much until he had something to show. And only if that something to show was really impressive.
Yeah.
Dude, talk about an actor that got started in horror and is in Lord of the Rings, fucking Christopher Lee.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
He's in quite a bit of horror from
we need somebody to Charlie Day the just Lord of the Rings at the middle, and then all the horror movies it connects to.
Yeah.
That could take a minute.
So many. Yeah.
But Viggo still, what else was he did? He started doing Cronenberg stuff that we got to watch now too. Because if you haven't seen
watched any of his newer stuff,
Eastern Promises or History of
I've seen
Violence.
Eastern Promises.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I have seen Eastern. I'm not a big fan of History of Violence. It's not.
I don't think I've
enough.
seen that. Yeah, is that the one where he's like, he's trying to live?
I think so.
Yeah, he's like
a different life.
Ed Harris shows up and he's like, I know your past, and you're like, oh, did he used to be like a crime guy or something? Like, what's going on? And then a bunch of people start fucking dying, and it's really violent.
Yeah, a few people die.
Oh, and he was in the Psycho
violent
remake,
enough.
apparently, which I never saw.
Really?
What? Really?
Yeah, he played Sam Loomis.
I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
The name sounds like it belongs in a different movie other than the Psycho remake.
True, yes.
Did you say you haven't seen Eastern Promises?
Me?
Josh.
Oh, no, I saw it a long time ago. I barely remember it, but I know what I saw was pretty nuts, and I've been meaning to watch it again where I can actually appreciate it. Because, it was before I knew Cronenberg's like resume or what to expect. I was just like, oh, it's the guy from Lord of the Rings, and it got good reviews.
And it's real weird because it's not like any of Cronenberg's other movies, really.
Yeah.
Especially at that point, because it's a fucking Russian mafia movie. That's it. It's just, but it has one of the coolest fight scenes in all of cinema.
Is Viggo a Russian mobster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like an enforcer or something who just like, fucks some shit up.
It's you know what, going into it, I'd had it hyped up to me a lot, so I kind of expected there to be more of him like wrecking shit, and there isn't, but what there is fucking phenomenal, so it's fine.
When did this movie come out?
This is 2007.
90s or okay. Yeah. Eastern Prom. Oh, it's got Naomi Watts.
Yeah.
Who's also in The Ring. Oh, now we're tying more horror together.
All right.
We could do this all day.
So what let's go over the
the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about these.
Viggo, this movie. Sorry, I'm looking at screenshots from Eastern Promises.
That movie.
That movie where he's got all the tattoos.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I haven't seen this one, but he looks like an intense dude.
Look, I love mafia stuff. I especially love weird mafia stuff like Yakuza and Russian mafia stuff. And this is the only movie that I've seen that's like, oh, this is Russian mafia. This is it.
Gotcha.
This is the most we're ever gonna get for a while.
It's so crazy how just fucking good of an actor that guy is.
It's
like
insane.
I just looked at that and then like that's the same dude who 1 played in Lord of the Rings and 2 played in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Yeah.
And the whole time you're watching Eastern Promises, you never are like, oh, it's Viggo Mortensen. You're like, oh, it's whatever his name is. Yes, he's fucking Russian mafia. Yeah, that's fine. He killed you. That's okay.
But you can't fucking buy him in Chainsaw Massacre 3. You can't buy it. He's too fucking...
No.
He's got this like beautiful hair.
Looks too good.
His hair's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Honestly, I think that it's the only role that doesn't work for him.
Yeah.
Everything else, I'm like, nah, I buy it. But I don't think he's evil enough to play that role. I think he's too much of a pure-hearted dude who's just like, man, I just want to learn 1,500 languages and go hang out in the woods, brother.
But he could be a Russian mobster.
Yeah.
Right.
But maybe you know what?
He's not
maybe it's direction.
Enough.
Yeah. Maybe he's just too smart.
Maybe in order to get the evil out of Viggo Mortensen, you have to be David Cronenberg.
Maybe you just have to, like, I don't know,
give him some substance.
Black out a couple of his teeth and make his hair fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just make him look like a hillbilly.
If he'd had facial hair, it would have played so much better. Also, while watching it, I was like, he feels more like the Jared Padalecki character in Friday the 13th remake at the beginning. And I was like, I kind of want to watch that movie where he actually like saves the day.
Yeah. With his good looks and his cowboy hat.
Yeah.
He looks like he's going on a safari.
Yeah.
You know, he looks like he knows, like,
the beginning of that movie looks more like Australia than it does Texas to me.
Yeah. Yeah. People listen to this are like, okay, guys, it's like this.
Yeah, we get it.
But you know what? Fuck you, because he's a good looking dude in 1990.
He's a good looking dude. He's still a good looking dude.
Still a good looking dude. And you know what? I bet you if you ran into Viggo on the street and you're like, hey man, I was a really big fan of you in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. I bet you he would probably, in his very soft spoken, very polite voice, he would probably sit and talk to you about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 for a couple minutes, because that's a guy who kind of seems like he is.
According to everything I know, that conversation would be very one-sided because he takes 5 minutes to respond.
He does.
To everything.
Because he cares.
Yeah, he cares.
Yeah. You can't, yeah. Yeah.
I did like the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember it was hot.
The whole time I was
hot.
I was looking at Six Flags, which was just 3 blocks from our set.
Yeah.
And then wondering.
Yeah, I thought
a water park. It looked refreshing.
I could be on that roller coaster. But I'm not.
Have you ever
Viggo, but your hair looked impeccable.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that video where Fabio got hit in the face by the goose on the roller coaster?
Yeah. He did?
Oh, you haven't seen that?
Wait, you've never seen this? What?
No, I'll have to.
I thought we experienced this together.
Oh, yeah.
No.
He rode.
What is this?
Fabio rode a roller coaster at Six Flags and got hit in the face with a bird. Like in one of the loops, like he was coming around a curve real fast. Bird flew in, and like they don't have the footage of him getting hit by the bird. They have the footage of the train coming back into the station, and he's just got blood on his face and like a feather stuck to his shirt. And everyone's like, "What the fuck happened?" And he's like confused. But yeah,
that's great.
I'm happy for him.
Oh man,
yeah. It's his legacy.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Side tangent on the side tangent.
Right,
Remember the Tom Green episode with Fabio?
No, I know.
It was great.
It's flying off the rails.
It's just Tom Green and Fabio shirtless and fucking like modeling.
Oh my god.
Right. Okay, so what's the
Rotten Tomatoes score?
Rotten Tomatoes
score? Let's try this.
This is a very on-track episode,
time.
guys.
Yeah.
We're doing good.
Yeah. So Leatherface,
Part 4
Texas
is
Chainsaw.
90. I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah, yeah. They're both pretty fucking bad.
I'm sure.
So part 3 is a 13% tomato meter.
That's a
30% audience score.
That seems high for an audience score.
Yeah.
That seems fair.
Well, so you won't be happy about this one then. So the fourth one, it's a 16% tomato meter.
Ooh, okay.
And it's an 18% audience
fuck
score.
off.
Come on.
Fuck off.
And it
Fuck
actually
off.
trends that way on Letterboxd.
Fuck
So
off. What
on
in the
Letterboxd,
world? Okay.
Leatherface, you got a 2.3, and the fourth one you have 1.9.
God, Jesus. And I bet you it's because people look at part 3 and see more of Texas, the setting, probably
Even
the
though it's
look
all in
of it.
California, but yeah.
Right, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But the character's name
you
is
don't
Tex,
see
Derek.
Yeah, duh.
And that does a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what my call is? I think it's solely because it has the best tagline. The Saw is family.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
pretty
think
good.
that a lot of people are just like, that's a cool tagline.
It
Is
is.
that the
It's
tagline, or-
fantastic. Yeah.
There was another
It's
one I
just
saw
etched on
that
the
said,
chainsaw.
Well,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he's
And that's
holding the
the tagline.
chainsaw on the cover.
Yeah.
got it.
The
'Cause I
terror
thought I saw
begins the
somewhere.
second it starts.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's another one.
I thought
he
the
puts
terror came
teeth
later.
in
Wait,
terror.
so
I saw
what
one
you're
about
saying is that when the
somewhere.
terror starts,
Yeah, I saw
that's-
he puts the
that's
teeth
one.
in terror is also one.
There's no
What?
teeth in terror.
The
Right.
terror
There's a
begins
T.
the second it starts. I think, which yes, at first it just sounds redundant, but I think they're like, oh, what they're talking about when the chainsaw starts, and I'm like, okay,
oh,
the terror,
or when
Is
the
that
movie,
when the movie starts?
the second the movie
Also,
starts. That's
I think
not
the
true.
movie.
I mean,
That's a lie.
the terror didn't
That's false
begin when the movie
advertising.
started, but the chainsaw also didn't start until like an hour into the movie, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
Well, the
that's why
terror
they
starts when
changed
the
it to
movie
the
starts, but it's a
fatigue.
different kind of terror.
Yeah.
It's funny to read it as the terror starts when the terror starts.
Yeah.
The second it begins.
The terror
So
starts
the
the
second
second
the
it
terror
begins.
begins is when the terror is going to start. Okay,
Yeah,
that
that's
makes
how
sense.
it works. That's time. What are you talking about?
So whenever something is happening, that thing is in fact happening.
Oh man.
This was
until it happens
This
again.
was right after.
It's all happening.
Right after Reagan's presidency, George W. had just been, or George H.W. had just been elected, and this is how we speak to the American public now. The terror begins as soon as it starts.
Terror begins when it starts, right?
See, now, what you got to understand about
Don't
terror
come before it.
is when terror
When it
begins,
starts. Now.
Yeah.
it's going to start. It's going to start, and then it's going to begin.
If it's one
At
thing
the
I know
same
about
time.
terror,
We got a
It's
popular
gonna start
saying
when
in-
it starts.
we got a popular saying in Tennessee. I know it's in Texas. I think it's in Tennessee. Too.
well, it's the same thing, you know.
I know that we're in Texas, but in Tennessee,
Well, actually,
I
he's
can't
filmed in
believe-
Cali.
He actually said that.
Valencia,
You remember
California.
that? You remember when he said
I
that?
do.
What?
That's when he
What?
says the "fool me once" quote. That was
Yeah.
Bush. He goes, he goes, there's an old
Fool me
saying in
once.
Tennessee. I know it's in Texas. I think it's in Tennessee too. It says, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, you can't get fooled again."
yeah, you can't get fooled again.
Oh man,
I'm
gonna be
good,
forever
Good.
pissed
I'm
off.
glad that we got to George H.
It's a fitting quote for this franchise because
yes.
yeah,
It
you
fits.
fooled me once with a movie
shit.
called Leatherface, and then you fooled me twice with another movie called Leatherface.
Fuck! Somebody got fooled. I knew going in.
Yeah.
I know going in. This episode after this one is nightmare fuel.
And the Illuminati,
it's
dude.
bad.
It's all connected. The Illuminati.
Oh my God.
It's all fucking connected.
That Charlie Day red line just got a lot bigger. So horror movies are connected to all of the Illuminati stuff now. Perfect.
yeah.
Oh,
God,
I look forward to getting rated with you guys soon.
right?
oh yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah.
They'll get you.
They know too much. They know
that
that
was
horror
good.
movies are made by the government.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop it.
All right.
Yeah.
I think